Okay. Okay, YouTube stream has started. Alright. Oh, hello. Oh, Kim, how was your concert? How was your concert? My mom started rewatching JJK, and she was commenting on Toto because he went to like a idol thing, and she's just like, these men are so crazy. She's like, idol culture is so crazy. I was like, yeah, you're right, mom. You're right. Oh wow, this box is cute. Ooh. Oh my god, it comes with a bag too. Hey. It's like a Tiffany blue bag. Wow. Roll up in my Bellatrix bag. It's cute. I think one thing about Bellatrix is the unboxing experience is always really good. Very high tier. So that's something. What is it? Okay. Alright. So today's keyboard that we're going to be building is the Zoom64, which is actually out right now. If you guys are interested, you could do exclamation point build. So this time around they did give me a tracking link. Oh, soundtrack! Thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Thank you. 35 months. Wow, we've known each other for 35 years. That's crazy. Thank you. But thank you, I appreciate it. But yeah, they did give me a link to track basically like the clicks or whatnot, so that's why the link looks like a little funky, just to give you guys a heads up. It is basically to track the metrics and how many clicks I get. But yeah, so that's to explain that. Hello, Pressy. But yeah, today we're going to be building the Zoom64, which is actually live right now, if you guys are interested. I was supposed to build this yesterday, but real life got in the way, so a bit delayed. But this is what the box looks like. So it's like a Tiffany blue box. You can see the embossed logo, the telescope from Bellatrix. And yeah, so it looks like you just slide this open like this. Ooh. And then take it out like this. Cute little box. Looks like here we have like the user manuals. So this is the after sales card. All here. Neat. Okay. Hi, Diego. Oh, I saw. Actually, I'll talk about it later. Never mind. I'll talk about it later. Hi, Diego. I was gonna say I saw your guys' story, and I wanted to dive deeper into it, but we'll talk about it later. Okay, let's open this. Oop. Okay. Oh, the pink unit. So I actually had originally asked for the PC unit, but I think they kind of ran into issues with like the prototypes and they were trying to fix it. So they did send me a different unit instead. And it looks like I got the pink one. We love pink. Pink. Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Cute. Yeah, we love pink. Or I love pink. I don't know if you guys like pink. I like pink. I used to not like pink, but I've since embraced it. I think it was one of those things where like everyone just assumed I would like pink because I was a girl and I was trying to like be a rebel. It's like, no, I like blue or black. But now that I'm older, I still like blue and black. Like, don't get me wrong, but like I like yellow, I like pink. I've embraced like the more vibrant colors, but okay. So this is the board, and we'll look at the accessories in a little bit. We pull up the product page. Okay. The briefing. Bellatrix is always pretty organized. Same with Owl Labs. It's always some kind of like notion or like page with all the information. Alright, so so starting price for this board is going to be 115 USD. They're gonna have special bundle deals, and then it looks like they're also going to have a HE module as well. But from what I saw, there's gonna be a lot of colors. Yes, 115. So there's Velvet Gold, Coral Bloom, Moonstone White, Liquid Silver, Titanium Gray, Drift Gray, Sakura Pink, Ink Teal, Neon Violet, Lilac Veal, Acrylic Blue, Mystic Ink, Cloud Mist Blue. So that's what, 13 colors? On top of having acrylic cases, right? So you have Glacier, Star Trail, Forge Flow, Midnight Ink, Shadow Black, Crystal Voltage, Aurora, Nebula, and Mojito Green. So on top of the 7 different acrylic choices, you have the 13 aluminum ones. So that's a total of 20 color choices. Kind of insane, right? So going back to the whole, having a ton of color options. Okay, so looks like this one we have, I want to say this one is the Coral Bloom. So this is the Coral Bloom colorway. Ooh. But yeah, let's just look at it. Ooh, there's the sheets right here. I can't forget YouTube. I always forget. Sometimes I have comments on YouTube. I feel so bad. All right. So here is the Zoom64. So available now, this is the Coral Bloom colorway. So 60%. Looking at the top bezels, right? So the top and bottom are going to be thicker, except the bottom bezel does kind of have that like cherry lip. The 2 side bezels are going to be a lot thinner. And just looking at first glance on the top, there is a knob module here, which is interesting because typically modules like these knobs are built as like part of the PCB or like part of like where the keys are, but here they've incorporated it into the case, so you don't lose any keys theoretically, right? BRB, someone ping me if Patty calls me. Okay. Bye, Diego. But yeah, so pretty neat that they've incorporated it into the case, hence why the top bezel is going to be a lot thicker. You can see it doesn't go all the way down, and it's more so like a tab piece, or kind of like, like the files where they kind of have like that little extra tab kind of reminds me of that. But it is going to be a different color from the case itself. And looks like all the accent tabs are going to be different contrasting colors depending on what colorway that you get. But just looking off, it does use the ribbon cables for all of them, which is fine. And then I can see right here already that is ball catch mechanic. No blockers. Yeah. And then this is a side profile. Whoa, so you kind of have this scooping action right here, right? So there's going to be no harsh corners, but then you said you can see everything has been curved. You can see this top piece also has that curve, right? No straight edges with this part. And then you can see this is the bottom piece, right? Which is a little bit more subtle, like you can see it, but the reason it looks so dark is because it's actually pretty far away from like the piece that you're seeing or the part that you're seeing. But yeah, so you got the nice little swoopy action going on here. And then you can see the knob also protruding out right there. Here's the back. Ooh, so you have the two-toned, right? So you have this back weight matching the front, but then you have this bottom or mid piece being the contrasting color that actually matches the knob. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if that's how it is on all the cases, but that's how it is on this one. And then this one is interesting because you have 2 feet right here, but this part right here is also silicone. So technically you have 2 small feet and 2 large feet right here, right? So with this silicone part right here, just to make sure it really doesn't slide, and it's already been put on, I'm assuming it's adhesive. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume this is adhesive, but this is the first time I've seen like them put like such a big, you know, silicone feet on like the back. But it makes sense because if this is where contact, right, for the bottom meets, then, right? So this has already been pre-installed for me at least. I'm not sure how it will be for you guys or for the production units, but these have already been installed. You see the branding right here, which is the telescope, and it looks like this is not going to be a separate piece. Looks like it's already been incorporated into the back weight, right? And so you can see the different textures. So you can see it's like the grill, but then you have the weight right here, right? So this is like texture, it's pretty cool. I can't link my WeCords. I don't have a keyboard right now. I'm sorry. But I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you look at this bottom piece, you see this ring, right? So that is going to be, I'm assuming, it feels like acrylic. We'll see it once we build the board, but one cool thing about this board, and I think they've always incorporated it really well, but I think Bellatrix has always had cool ideas, especially when it comes to diffusers with LEDs. And so it's the same concept here, right? So this is a diffuser, and then whenever you plug in the board, it will light up, right? So I'm excited to see what that looks like, but that's why you have that here. So in essence, you can see the top case, you can see the mid/bottom piece, which is contrasting. You see the diffuser around the bottom accent weight, and then within the accent weight, it actually has their logo already machined on there, so it's not a separate piece. Cool. And then this part, it's really cool because you can see it kind of curves up, kind of like a skateboard ramp. Ooh. So not your traditional like rectangle. They've done a lot of cool things here that I like it. I like it so far, right? But yeah, here's the back. Here's a USB port side. So once again, you can see the knob accent piece right here, and then USB port right here. And then I didn't point this out earlier, but looks like there is a little indicator on this knob as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. Looks like there is some kind of like LED indicator. And then here is the front lip. Okay, so earlier I said this ball catch mechanic, so let's open that. Let me take off my rings real quick. So ball catch mechanic. So it looks like you're gonna have a total of 4, 2 on the top, 2 on the side. The middle piece or the bottom piece doesn't have sidewalls. Looks like here is what the knob is connected to. Looks like it's like friction fitted into place. Oh, Nacho, thank you for the raid. Hello. I hope you had a good stream. We just started our build, so. Hello. Pokimane. What the? How was your stream? Hello. Hello, readers. My name is Patricia. I build and review custom keyboards, but I also play a lot of games. And then sometimes we'll do pottery streams, but if you're new here, feel free to ask any questions. Today we're reviewing the Zoom64, which is actually live now. So, thank you, Nacho, for the raid. If you have to raid and run, please take care of yourself. And then if you do decide to say welcome, I started my stream a little late. I slept all day. It's been really cold in Texas, and so my body hates the cold weather. I like the cold weather, but my body hates it. So I've just been sleeping. Hi, Jer. Stream was good, did a little bit of co-working. Nice. Is it the type where you're like not talking for a long time, where it's like time on, time off, where I've seen a couple different formats of co-working, but also, thank you for I need to post on social media. I always forget to do that. You talk for too long. I My community has asked me to do co-working, but honestly, I feel like I would get too distracted and I wouldn't get any work done. So I've been asked to co-work before. I'm like, I would not get anything done. I just need to like work by myself. Patricia, look over here. Yeah, it would not be good. Pay attention to me. I know. I was supposed to build this board yesterday, but I was just so tired and I had things come up. But usually try to do review streams before the group buy goes live and post all the content so people like know what to expect, but I got the board a bit late. And then also life. Thankfully, Mellatrix was like understanding when I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to move it. I do like the overall look of the sport so far. Okay, let's see. Mellatrix. TV/channel. This is a Zoom64. Are any of you on Blue Sky? It's really neat because on Blue Sky you can post whenever you're live. Like you can do like a circle on your profile whenever you're live, and it's really neat. I try not to use Twitter or X so much or anymore, but I've also never really been like a stream of consciousness and tweet it type of person. I think some people are really good at that, but not me. I mean, I do have shower thoughts, but I don't want people to know my shower thoughts because sometimes they're really like, what the fuck? You know? Like the world don't need to know my shower thoughts. Zoom64. The mods have collective shower thoughts. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll kind of leak through, especially for like watching movie nights. Like I will say what I'm thinking, and then what does Oxy say? Oxy says like, he says something along the lines of like, "You're wrong for that." Yeah, he'll just say, "You're wrong for that." I'm like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." Yeah. Sim64 twitch.tv Xing Xing Wong. Okay. Oh my goodness. Bull rated as well? Thank you for the raid, Bull. Hello. Hi. I hope you had a good stream. I need a post about Gefrin. Oh my god, why are you shouting out Pokey again? I hope you had a good stream. Thanks for the follow. Yes. Bull, I need my bias. What was Bull streaming? Oh yeah, so how do I do this? Oh yeah, so if you have blue sky, you can click this and you can say go live, and then you can put your Twitch link right here, right? Xing Xing Wong. Okay. And then you can say I'm gonna go live for like 4 hours, right? Yeah, 4 hours, and then you press go live. Boop. So now if anyone is on blue sky at the time, right, they'll see that you're live. So for example, you can see, look, see, you can see she's live right now on Twitch. And then if you click my profile, you can see I'm live right now on Twitch, and you can click it and it will take you to watch now. That's cool. Patty, the straights are being cringe again. You know what? Let them. They'll have a personality otherwise. I'm just kidding. Oh god. Okay, but anyways, so we were looking at the case. This is live now. This is ball catch. We just plooped it out. So looking at the internals, yeah, so you do have this like daughter board. Oh wait, I forgot to do my intro, but hello Raiders from Bull. My name is Patty. I build and review custom keyboards. Today we're reviewing the Zoom64. We just got rated by Nacho, now we're getting rated by Bull, so I appreciate it. But we play a lot of games here. We also do pottery sometimes. Yeah. We're currently opening this board and looking at the insides. So I was talking about how there is a separate like daughter board for the snob module on the top. It does use ribbon cables. And then it looks like you have these like little silicone bits on each corner of the case. And this is like this is for the ball catch to keep it in place and also reduce the aluminum to aluminum contact. And then it looks like you also do have these like little pieces right here, also as like a force break, right? So top and bottom. Looks like there's a long cable right here, a long channel right here, but I guess we'll see if that has anything to do with it. But let's deconstruct this and see how that's like incorporated. You know what? I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with ball catch. Nope, it's not top mountable. No. I think especially for people that don't always have, you know, the tools. Like ball catch is very convenient in certain situations. Like I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. Hello Rouse, what's up? Okay. So we're just going to take these. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons for everything, right? I know it came with the board. It is my Discover Weekly. Tis my Discover Weekly. Okay, so it looks like here's the back weight. Ooh, it's very thin. Very thin. It looks like for the back weight, you have a total of 7 screws. And then this part actually hides the battery component. So it's right here. I'm trying not to flip it over and lose all the screws, but I'm going to have to. But as you can see right here, so this is where another daughter board is hiding, but this is for the battery, so for wireless. Oops. Yeah, it's all right there. Oop. Oh. I mean, if you need someone to fix it, you can always send it to me too, unless you like to do it yourself, but it's up to you. Okay. Yep, you can just send it over. I'll fix it for you. Okay, so let's close this back up. Or unless you're talking to Avo, then yeah, you could also send it to Avo. It's whatever you want to do. You have options. Oh yeah, I made a friend at the pickleball pop-up and she gave this to me. My arms are like getting so muscular. That's pure muscle right here. Yes, I went to a pickleball pop-up. I was selling my ceramics there. Oh, so looking at the top case, so it does use pogo pins for this top part, right? For the knob. Yeah, so it was kind of cool because I saw her at she was my neighbor at a vintage market and it was like so hot. She bought two of my drinks and was like chugging them. And then I recognized her again at the pickleball meet pop up and I said hi. I was like, oh, like we recognized each other. And yeah, we were just talking a lot and we became friends. So it looks like here's all the foam if we want to use foam right there. I'm like, I'm feeling a little sad because one of my friends reached out to me asking me if I wanted to do a pop up at her workplace and wanted to know my quotes and what days would work for me. And she really pushed to get it before I left for Taiwan, and it was approved. And then today she told me, hey, they found another matcha vendor who's like $20 cheaper than you and she's giving a very deep discount because her husband works at Dell. She's offering like four drinks. Um, yeah, $20. They haven't made their final decision yet, but she's just like, I'm just letting you know they're slightly cheaper than you, and um, there was just like a very big discount because her husband works for Dell, and so I want to say I've accepted defeat, but I kind of have because it's just like, well, her husband works at Dell, so. Alright. Then I'm guessing this is the PCB. And the plate. Oh, looks like I got PEI. Okay. So, in terms of available plates, looks like there are four. You could be PC, PEI, FR4, or carbon fiber. For the dampening foam kit, there are three choices. You have standard, cork, or poron. So I have the poron. And then PCB, there's tri-mode flex cut or tri-mode non-flex cut. So I have the non-flex cut, which is 1.6, but then if you get the flex cut, it's going to be 1.2. Right. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who they decide to go with. But I'm definitely like hoping, you know. All right. So here's the PCB. Perky RGB! We love perky RGB. Nice. Oh, Pikachu. So it looks like you can do split backspace. Looks like it has ISO on C support. You can split the left shift. Looks like bottom row is set, however, but oh, I don't know if you guys can see it right here, but there's like a little LED, and this is for the knob indicator up top. But on top of the per key, right? That's cool. And then here's the back. So ribbon cable connector. Is there a physical reset button? None that I see, but looks like there is not going to be any underglow on the PCB. But still cool. Nice. I actually really like Perky. I know the quote-unquote purists are like RGB is blasphemous, but I actually really do like it, so heck you guys. Also, we can see on the tabs, right? So looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it looks like I got PEI. Right. So it's interesting because So here's the plate. We can see there are holes. I'm guessing these are for standoffs potentially. And then looking at the mounting points, you have 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. The mounting points are symmetrical. Interesting, it does interfere, or it is like kind of by where the space bar is. I found that it doesn't always affect it, so we'll see how it is. But yeah, the anchor points are not spaced out based on where things are. They are just symmetrical, right? Looks like it's a little different. Yeah, it is fixed, right? And then here, yeah, so here are the standoffs for that. I mean, the fixed 6.25 kind of makes sense, especially since they already have 20 freaking colors. Oh my god. That's crazy. 20 colors. Alright. So they did give us stabilizers. We've looked at all of this. What is you? Hold on. Oh yeah, so here are the different mounting styles. So silica gel, these are extra ones, or you can do the split O-ring mount. So 2 mounting styles. Yeah, I mean, it went live already. Well, some of the colors are, they're not making a lot. So it looks like, Midnight Ink, Glacier, Star Trail, and Forge Flow. So if you want the special one, the Forge Flow is still available. But it looks like the special ones are just like the crazy looking cases. Okay. Alright. Let's build. I mean, starting price for this is like $115, so. Okay, we don't need that. Yeah. Boop. Boop, boop. Perfect. Split backspace. Yeah. I'm leaving. Oh yeah. I think I did forget to mention that, but it is, yeah. It has, you can do arrow keys and there is no blocker. So it's a 64, not a 65. So like the main difference being that it's basically a 60, but they've added the 4 arrow keys on it, right? So that's what you're seeing. These are actually already pre-lubed. Do we take them apart and re-lube it? You know what? We'll just see what it sounds with. Yeah, it's hard to say. Would you say it's closer to a 65 or closer to a 60? It's kind of like an in-between because you don't have like the extra keys that you would see on like a 65. Can you build it like a 60? No, because it's set. Seems cursed. Well, this is actually I don't want to say more common, but for people who want a 60 but also want arrow keys, this fits that like niche, right? I know with the Tofu 60, this is a PCB that this is a layout that a lot of people had. And I don't know if you remember, but the frog PCB, the frog 60 ones that I've built a lot, I think this is like a very similar layout. So there is a market out there. But yeah, it's just, you know, whenever people say like, oh, I love 60s, but I need arrow keys, right? Oh, potato. Presley's trying to go to Spain too. So maybe you guys could see if we could go to Spain together. Maybe. Oh. He's going to Finland. Oh. I see. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so they have this one, but then I think they have one that's the Flux something. Flux 60 module. Hey Frank. Is that the one you're talking about? We met her for lunch. He told me he would have gone to Spain with me. Yeah, because the other day I was like, you're going to Spain, so is Potato. And he's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, you could go with her. And I guess... I don't know if that was before or after I told him you were going. You know, what's been showing up a lot for me is there's like a video of this girl who filmed herself having a panic attack on a plane, and a lot of people were just like mad at her about it. And then she was just like, well, I'm traumatized because I was part of the flight where like uh yes, that one. And she's just like, well, I basically am traumatized because I had like an airplane accident, but I think she was in business class, something like that. Uh, but I heard she was banned. I heard she was like banned from that airline. I think it was just like so hard because she started her video of her screaming, and then you watch the video, and after her like panic attack, she's like, yeah, so I had my panic attack, but you know, afterwards the orange juice was so good. And I was like, girl. Yeah. It was very, yeah, maybe if Insta can find the video to show you guys, but it was definitely one of those like, buh. was But, you know, I get it. Everyone has different ways in which they have these panic attacks, but it just felt like it it was just a very hard watch, I think, because she just glossed it over really badly. Um I thought the video was gonna be like her talking about like why she screamed on the plane, but no, it was just about it felt very clickbaity, you know? Like she wanted something to like hook him, but that wasn't like the main intent of the video. It was just her talking about her experience um on the plane and like the meals she got as like in business class, and it was just like I thought the video was going to be about her talking about why she has anxiety on the plane and why she was screaming, but no, it was just yeah. Yeah, I just think it was the part where she had her panic attack and then she was just like, anyways, yeah, the orange juice is really good. It's like, what the frick? We're not gonna talk about that. Like, we're just gonna move on like that, nonchalant. Yeah, I know people who just don't fly ever because they hate it so badly. Okay, let me grab some switches. Oh. I have some here. Let me see. So we're gonna do, we only have one plate, but we're gonna do no foam first. I just don't know how she managed to like film and edit that and then tell herself like, okay, you're good to post. Yeah, I think that's the hard part about it. Hello, 2-1. Sorry I couldn't respond to you. I started streaming. Oh, actually, yesterday, one of the studios was like 1-2 studio. It's like 1-2 studio. Just like 2-1 studio. Oh, wait. You know what? I need to put on the standoffs. Oops. Good thing I remembered before I started posting them all. Oh, sorry. Can one of the mods edit? It's Morandi switches with PEI plate. So that link is the link they gave me to track how many clicks I get. So, that's why I look so funky. But, you know. No, because it tracks based on your IP, I'm guessing. At least click it once. You guys. I'm pretty sure that's like illegal to do. I miss Potato. I should go to New York again and visit her. Maybe when it's not so cold. You know what? I think it's actually better to do this first. Visit Yugs9 OC. I'll visit you. Yegs, debatable. Oh god. Oh, a nice 26 degrees. Holy shit. Yeah, so warm. So warm. Well, I don't want to go when it's too hot because then the subway smells kind of weird. Man, this is hard with nails. Ever since I started putting on cuticle oil, my nails have been growing a lot faster. Did I eat food? Yes, I did. Dude, everywhere is raising their prices. I know. Did you see the world is getting worse? Yeah. you know what? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they're raising their prices. Does that mean they're gonna pay voice actors, or what's the dealio with that? Are they gonna pay translators more? Okay, these standoffs don't want to go in. Yeah, these standoffs just don't want to go in. Maybe I just say heck it. Okay, this one finally went in. Testing? Hello? Hello? I see the YouTube comments. I'm just trying to put out standoffs right now. I'm actually gonna start selling my strawberry syrups and whatnot from my pop-ups. Hey, Pressy, hello. Okay, that one went in. Yeah, Pressy. Potato told us how you bought tickets to go to Finland already. I went for a drive in your Jetta, was fun. You know, we saw a Jetta in the movie the other day, yesterday. We're like, oh look, it's Dave. Okay, I have installed the standoffs. Yeah, that movie was, let's just say, me and the homies hate Ray. Well, it was meant to be uncomfortable. Like, you are not watching that for like the sex scenes. Like, you're watching that to understand why this relationship was toxic and why it didn't work out. Like, it was meant to make you uncomfortable. So like, it was not a good, healthy representation of what that type of relationship should have been. Like, it's not meant to be like a happy story. It it started with a P. Was there a lot of those scenes? No. Well, yes and no. Um, I say yes and no because there was a part where they all go camping and they do their dom and sub things, but other than that, like, no, not really. Orgy in the woods, yeah, basically. I need more energy. Yeah, I know. We started a little later too. Like, I was actually there at 11. Um, but then I think Oxy was like, hello at 11:30, and I was there. But then I started cleaning up, and then I was like, oh shit. What? I was saying that I was there. It's just I lost track of time because I was cleaning. That's why, like, I didn't join the channel until a little later. Because sometimes I'll join the channel and then I'll be there for a little bit and then yeah. I was just really cold last night. He was mad that it wasn't out for our movie night. I know, we watch movies really late at night. We should start earlier. But that's partially on me. Tonight? But we still have time. We already just started deciding next we're gonna watch. NC even made a message. So people aren't like, what are we watching? Also, we watched Secret Agent. I think that was more of like a homage to like the city from back then. Oh, thanks for follow. I felt really bad at the end of that movie where, like, when the son was like, "You know my father more than I do," and it's like, damn. Yeah, that was really sad. And just like knowing how much he loved his son too. Ugh, ugh. But you know, I realized that they did that on purpose. Because you thought after all those guys died that he would be safe. And then that's why they cut to it to be like, nope, he died. And then you're like, damn, really? Boop. I think in another life I was a robot. I think we just never know. I'm assuming it was the guy on one of the killers, but yeah. I still want to watch the Thai movie where the wife gets she possesses a vacuum machine. She dies and possesses a vacuum machine. Highlight? No. That looks good. Alright, we did it. Cool. Okay, so I was told that silicone jelly mount works only for this, but O-ring mount won't work. So we're gonna do that. It looks like the orientation doesn't matter. So the silica gel is for the plate, but then the O-ring mount is for the PCB. We have like so many pop-ups this next month. Holy moly. Maybe I'm spreading myself too thin, but just really trying to like grind out before Taiwan so I can relax and eat lots of food there. Okay, keycaps. What keycaps are we using? Pink. Pink. Let's see. Pink, let's use... patisseries on another board. I think patisserie would have been really good, though. Well, patisserie is on my blue rat, but no one knows where it went. Because Kiwi was supposed to ship it back to me, but it just never got back to me, so... who knows where it is. So this is the pink that it looks like. I'm pretty sure Divinity may have it. I don't know. I know it's bad. What color? Let's see. How about... Hey, Misu? I do. Neapolitan? We could. Oh, oh god. What board is it on? It's on a board. It's not in the box. Oh god. No. I have Olivia. It's a little off. Oh, I have PBT Olivia. No? Okay. I do have peach blossom. Peach blossom? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, patisserie would have been perfect. Yes. Is that where it is? That might be where it is. You know, one day I'm gonna take the time to just take apart all the boards. We're gonna do that one day, hopefully. Although you have 2 boards. Come on. You have 5? Well, that's 3 more than I thought you had. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be sending it back. Because there are other content creators waiting. It's okay. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Wait. Um, oh, it's a different shift. Huh. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, wait. Oh, yeah, I don't. Oh. Yeah. Holy. Okay. I mean, well, I know. Okay. So that's like another thing. Most kids don't have 2U shifts, right? I don't. I don't. Huh. It's a little cursed, but um you need 1U shift. I don't even have that in this kit. Okay, yeah, so that is definitely something to consider. Okay, what's up? You know, it makes sense with the layout, but I just don't know, like you say Osame has compatibility, but I feel like a lot might not. Ooh. So that makes the I see. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Cursed layout for now, but it's alright. We'll change it afterwards. I should have paid closer attention to the layout. Okay. Let's put this in. Oh shit. There's a lot that do Kikobo, Osame, drop. I wouldn't say that's a lot. Especially when you think about like just GMK specifically and also like a bunch of they I wouldn't say that's a lot. Also, Kikobo base kit comes with those. But when you say like a lot, I would assume that's like the standard, but I would say this is definitely not the standard, right? Okay. I'd say that 2U shift is mostly the standard in the sets I've been getting. Yeah, I think that's a more accurate statement. I think if we're having to look for a set that's compatible, then it's not standard. So yeah, I do feel it's a little not fair to say that a lot of kits do have it. Patty Riverhost has 2U shift. You're gonna take prettier pics for IG. Fade. No, I'm just gonna swap this out. I'm just gonna change this out. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look through my keycap sets. I mean, unfortunately, it's like GMK kitting is not like standard. Osame might have standard kitting across the board, but I don't. I don't even. Does Kikobo really have standard kitting? I thought Kikobo was more like the set. Oh, okay. Okay. It's fine. It doesn't look very pretty, but we can change it later. Alright. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Because I know Osume, uh, their kits are pretty much like, it has like everything. But in terms of like Kikobo and GMK, it's based on the set, I thought. I wonder if Milky Way, I don't think Milky Way does it either. Or not standard. It's fine. It's okay. The struggle. I should have realized that it was not standard. Oh god, I gotta change this. Peach. So. This is Peach Blossom? Let's see, I need to set this up. Is it Bile or is it Via? Let's see. Okay, I might have to use a web browser. Rat says uncaught object error. Okay. Okay, let's see if they have... Oh, it uses Via, okay. Okay, let's see. Is it on Via already? It is paired, but I cannot configure this. No! Okay, they did not give me the file either, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. Yeah, we're just gonna have to roll with it. That's fine. My summer from Mexico started peeling. Oh, dang. You went there for, what, a wedding, right? Pink? Where's pink? Okay, I'll just use Darling. Does Darling have to you in shift? To you shift? It should. It does. Yeah. Let's see. Is my Darling on a board? I don't... Yeah, I have R2. Okay, it does. Alright, we'll swap it out after. I know. I have to, though. Okay, one moment. Alright, chat. Here is our first type test of the night. This is the Zoom64. We're using the PEI plate, no foam. This is the silica gel mounting, and this is GMK Peach Blossom. Sorry, I fixed a command. It's actually PEI. Um, does the 0.25 shifted row mess you up? I wouldn't say messed me up. I mostly think it's a combination of like this key maybe being just like a little higher. I'm gonna swap keycap sets. I think it's mostly my nails because they're getting so long. I need to like trim them. Okay, so I think ultimately I am not a fan of PEI, or I think there is a very certain like switch that you should use for PEI, at least to get like the sound profile I want. I will say with this configuration, so granted, like, I haven't built it with like foam yet, but I'd say with the switch and with the plate, it's on the quieter side and it's gonna be a little bit more muted. But I'd just say there was like no depth of sound, right? It's just kind of, there was no dimension. But you know what? Some people do like that, so there's that. And like I said, it could just be the combination that I have at the moment. So let's see how it sounds like with foam. So I was told that if I'm gonna do foamless, so that the O-ring doesn't work, only the silica gel. So let's see how this sounds foamless or with foam, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then we're also gonna swap the keycaps. Okay. Most of the boards that I have built, so just based off of like my build experience, but most of the time they try to avoid any like mounting spaces on the spacebar. It seems like this, for both mounting, it does have it on the spacebar. So I know some people might say like those are bad mounting points. This is how a lot of boards were before, and then somewhere along the lines, I don't know when the shift happened, but mounting points started to shift away from spacebar. And you might hear some reviewers say like that's like an indicator of like bad mounting, but it's kind of one of those things where like bad mounting, I would only say if it's bad if it like is detrimental to the build. However, I mean, in terms of like sound, right, it's just really dependent on what you're trying to achieve as like the designer. Because I've heard some people argue that they don't like when the spacebar sounds like different from the rest of the board, and they want to like try and fix that. Whereas others, they like when, you know, alphas sound one way, spacebar sounds one way, mods sound like a different way, and that could be attributed to how the mountings of the board is. So it's just really dependent. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like bad design. It's just, I would say with this configuration that I just built, it was just a little bit more muted, and there wasn't much variance in the sound profile, you know, like it just all kind of sounded uniform, which some people want. So yeah, it's just like my 2 cents on like the mounting points. But I'm also not like a keyboard designer. I've just built a lot of boards, and so what I've seen in the trend is, right, people moving away from the center or the spacebar mounting points. Yeah, I mostly use the Marandi because they're 5 Melichicks, and also they have the diffuser for the RGB. But yeah, it could also be the Marandi switches. There's just like a lot of things. I think ultimately I'm just not a fan of PEI as well. I think in my very limited experience building with PEI, and also what others have told me, is that it's like a very specific switch that you should use with it. But I think that it just depends on the sound profile. So I might not like how it sounds, but you guys might really like how it sounds. So it's just all very like subjective. Should I pop a diffy switch? Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, is that some people don't like the spacebar sounding different, right? Some people want it to sound uniform like this, so that's part of the reason why I usually try not to comment on sound because it is like so subjective. But I also realized that things I like you guys might not like, or vice versa. But yeah, if you are the person who, you know, you want a spacebar to like be more poppy or be more loud, like that's definitely an option that you can do. Like I think Alex does that a lot. He'll swap it out. But in my opinion, it's like that's just preference. Alright, so let's take all of these out. One thing whenever I'm doing builds, I try not to change the variance of it too much. In the sense of like, if I've already built with like these switches, I'm gonna continue building with these switches even if like I might not like the way it sounds. The only thing I'll change is like foam without foam, plate without plate, but I will say sometimes when people will watch streams or videos, they'll be like, oh my god, they always have like the board never sounds good. Or it's like, I never like the way that their boards sound. Or I always like the way that their board sounds. It's like, it's really up to the reviewer and catering to that sound profile that they like. But I try to stay a little bit more neutral. So even if I don't like the way that this sounds, like someone eventually might, you know? MX Black's Alu. Ugh, I built one recently. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why I'm like so hyper aware of it is because like I've seen some people basically shit on me saying like, oh, her builds always sound like ass, but it's kind of like, well, you know, it's what either the brand gave me, it's, you know, it's just like the switches I have on hand, or right. And as much as I want to just like swap it out because I'm like, I don't like the way it sounds, it's like, but someone else might. So, I guess, what's up? But I mean, I want to say there used to be streamers that like would only use a certain switch. So first person that comes to mind is like gym leader Nathan, right? He would always use the same switch no matter what. No matter what. And I think there are people who have really like perfected that sound profile that they like. So for example, like Alex has a very distinct profile that he likes. He knows how to like what switches to swap with the space bar to like make it sound better, but sound better is, like I said, very subjective. Yeah, there's just some content creators that have really figured out what they like and how to achieve that. And if you happen to like that, then, you know, perfect. But if you tend to be someone that is okay with like other sounds and you're fine with like experimenting, then, you know, I think hearing the different options is always good to have. I didn't like MX Specs and Elio. You can gauge how your builds might sound based off of it. You may not like people's choices. I respect your choice. Yeah, yeah. He's very consistent with his sound profile because that's what he likes. Right. Piss. I don't have like a sound signature, a consistent sound signature. That's the thing. I just build with the switches that I'm either given or the designers want or stuff like that. Yeah, piss or ass, right? I will say I do like to do multiple sound tests so you guys can kind of hear, but yeah. But it's also one of those things where some people just want to be told, is the board good or bad? But my criteria of whether a board is bad is usually based on build quality. Oh, good to see you once again. Hello. Welcome. Okay, let's see. So we're using Darling now, which does have the 2U. That's good. Sorry, Insty. One of the things that really drew me into your content in the first place, what, the breaking down of the board? I learned that actually from Ryan and Diego. I always loved watching Ryan's streams because he kind of came from like a designer perspective and he would break down like why he thought they designed it that way. I wish I had that type of experience, but of course that's like something I would have to like design a board. But unfortunately for you guys, I don't really have that drive or passion to learn how to design a keyboard. I'd say in terms of designing, I would be more inclined to learn how to do like keycap design. Yeah, what's up, Yugs? 2-1 told me to go visit you guys. But yeah, I do have a spudger. When am I coming out? Yeah, we'll see. There are some streamers that I wish still streamed. I met with Yux last weekend. Is that your first time meeting him? He's such a troll. He's such a troll. Yeah, I just wish there were some streamers that were still streaming. It's like very reminiscent. Ryan being one of them. But I think he had like a good streaming personality. And also, I really liked when Tony or Ramen Champ, because he was really funny. Same with Huru. Seven degrees on Wednesday. Oh, wow, that is so hot, you guys. So hot. Oh, 84, even hotter. So hot. Yeah, it's cold right now in Texas, yes. Oh yeah, I was created by God. Wait, can you someone link his Twitch or her Twitch? I will go give them a follow. I didn't even know they were like a streamer. So I will give them a follow. No, not Pokey. I'm talking about no, not Mingo. God's son. I'm terrible. I don't watch. I have a very specific set of streamers I watch, but I don't usually go out of my way to find new streamers. Not because I don't want to, it's just I legit just don't have time, you know? Koala! Oh my god, you're alive! Thanks for the tier 3. Oh my god, you're alive. Thank you. Give a follow. Hi, Koala. I think I do follow you at that. Yes, I do. I'm just not on Twitch very often these days, especially like I used to watch Twitch a lot on the weekends, but now my weekends are packed with pop-ups and stuff, so maybe I should do like a self-promo channel on my Discord. Yes, I'll try and stop by one of your streams. It's just I never know when people do stream. Unless I'm in their Discord and I get a ping, then I will go check them out. Like, oh, they're streaming, let me go see, right? Is that the art channel? Yeah, basically. Like, I'm in Kim's server and she's like, I'm going live. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll go check out, see what she's doing. Hey, don't diss those bots. They're gonna take over the world one day, okay? Are you gonna be on the right side or the wrong side? Oh, so that's a, what, 4 Central? Yeah, so that's the reason I never catch your streams, because I'm at the gym at that time. I go to the gym Wednesdays and Sundays, usually any time from like 3:30, 4:30, and I'm usually there for an hour, so. Oh, yeah, then I'm usually at the gym, and then after the gym, I go grocery shopping, and then I come home and I KO until movie night. So that makes sense why I haven't been able to catch one of your streams. I think someone came into my stream and they were like, "Oh wow, you know, you rarely stream anymore." And it's like, "What? Really?" But it's because like we were on different time zones, and so they were just like never able to like catch my stream, but then they they translated it as like I was never streaming anymore, but it was more so like their schedule just never lined up with mine anymore. So on the rare occasion that it did, it's like, oh my god, you're streaming, right? I mean, there was one night I streamed from like, girl, like 11 p.m. to like 7 a.m. because I was trying to figure out that damn puzzle. We're so close to finishing that game, but honestly, it like pissed me off, and I haven't gone back to it. I do a lot of late night streams where you work for a while. Sometimes I do, yeah. I mean, I try to at least stream the days that I say I'm going to, but the last week or so, it's been a little inconsistent because I haven't been feeling well. And like, as much as I like you guys, sometimes it is hard to just like sit here and stream for hours when I'm already not feeling good, you know? Like, if I could stream laying down from like to my PC, then I probably would. However, it also probably wouldn't work out because I would most likely fall asleep. Yeah, Lucio. Do you think people in chat even knows what that means? Some people might. Some people might be like, the fuck is Lucio? Who in chat does not know what Lucio means? Alex hit the Zoom64 today too. Oh, yeah. The fuck is Lucio? So, basically, when it comes to a female's menstrual cycle, you have multiple phases. So, you start with follicular, right? Oh my god, you know Yegs. So yeah, for a woman's menstrual cycle, you have different phases. So you have follicular, there is ovulation, there's luteal, there is menstrual. Yeah, there's many. And just like depending on like what phase you're in, your body could react in different ways. So, follicular is the phase that happens right after your period, right? And on different phases, your either estrogen, progesterone, or your testosterone levels will go up and down, right? Depending. So, that's why so this is really important, especially for people who are like trying to get pregnant, right? Because like theoretically you're most fertile and most horny during like your ovulation, right? So if you're like tracking that, like ovulation is probably the best time if you're trying to like get some, right? So you have the follicular, and after that you have ovulation. And that's also when women are like glowing, they're looking good, they're feeling pretty, right? But then after that high, you go into luteal, right? Which is, you know, whenever you're like pissed off and like you know, you could see a cute dog on the street and you can cry because it's so cute. Like it's when you're feeling like most emotional. Also, it can be whenever you're most like irritable. It's because it's your body preparing you for your menstrual or your period. That's also whenever I like, for example, like right before my period, my my I grow pimples, and like my boobs are sore, right? Like they just hurt, and I'm like, oh god, I'm in my luteal phase. I'm about to start my period, right? Because there's definitely like signs. I mean, each woman is like different, but that's how I know like shit, my period is about to start, right? Um, and then and then you have your period, and then after your period goes back to follicular. So it's a cycle, right? That's like the general idea, but um, that's why you sometimes you might see memes where guys are like, a girl just told me she's on her luteal phase and told me to talk to her later. And it's because that's like when she's most irritable, when like it's really easy to piss her off and she just doesn't like want to like talk or like get jiggy with it, you know. It's like that. And it's important to note, right? Especially like if you're trying to have a kid, right? But if you're like in a relationship now, and if you're like, oh, so that's why like sometimes my girl's like really horny or really not horny, like it could be she's like ovulating or like in a really good mood. And for example, it's like whenever Connor will say something and I will be like, are you stupid? Like, can you just not talk to me? And he'll be like, oh, okay, she's in her luteal phase right now. I should just feed her and leave her the fuck alone. Like, it's very apparent for some people. But yeah, now you guys know. So follicular, ovulation, luteal, menstrual. I track, yes. I use Stardust. They don't sell your data. At least they claim they don't. There are some period trackers that actually sell your menstrual cycle to the government. Isn't that crazy? What if she's never horny, ladyboy? If your girl's never horny, then you're probably doing something wrong, either emotionally or physically. Sex could be bad, she just doesn't have sex with you, or you are either not emotionally available, so she is not emotionally available. And for women, a lot of it is how safe she feels with you. And if she doesn't feel safe and it doesn't feel good, then she's probably never gonna be horny with you, unfortunately. So let's see. All right. So for guys, the guys in chat, you know, whenever you're going through puberty and it's like where your balls dropped, and all of a sudden it's like all your testosterone, your voice is getting low, and you know, you have all these like thoughts and whatnot, and you're just like going crazy, and like, you know that. You know how there was a phase in your life when you had to deal with that? In some women, when it comes to like um ovulation, it's very similar because it's when everything kind of spikes in like hormones, right? So you guys deal it like once in your life, but then girls deal with it on a monthly basis. So it's like sometimes you might be like, God, why is this girl so emotional? And it's because our hormones fluctuate so much. Whereas you guys have the flux during puberty, and then you kind of get used to it, you know, and you kind of learn how to manage it. It's crazy. It's very intense. I mean, some guys learn how to manage it. I mean, they could be. There's that too. So yeah, that's my cycle lessons. Yes, that's another thing. Antidepressants, birth control. There's a lot of things that could destroy your sex drive, but um I just think it's actually very sweet when like partners will track their female cycles, because you can kind of like cater to what like she needs, right? I mean, some guys don't give a shit. It's either period or no period. Boom. And it's also why, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you live in a house full for women and then eventually they all start to like sync their periods. So if you grew up with like multiple women and you're just like, holy shit, why are all the women in my household so crazy right now? It's their periods have synced. Yeah, our period Bluetooth connects. Yeah. Do you guys know that was a thing too? My poor dad, because he has my mom, me, and my sister at one point. And when we would all sync, he would just like, he was a wallpaper. Like he just did not exist. But yeah, now you guys know. Um Hi Frank. You guys say congrats to Frank. Frank had Frank just welcomed a baby. Congrats, Frank. Yeah, Inamushaki. Yeah, second baby. We're so happy. Yes. Congrats. Yes, we were told uh Mom Mushaki is good. Or was good. I guess not good right now. Oh my gosh. Wait, Frank, you said she was okay. Now she's not okay. What is this? Oh. Oh, wow, you guys, this is the receiver. Like a little pyramid. Oh wait, I gotta plug this in, hold on. Oh my god. Wow. That's a really fancy dongle. Look at this receiver. Cool. Alright, let's do a typing test. Alright. This is PEI plate. We have foam now. Randy switches, GMK darling. You know what? I think once we added foam, the board, the sound profile had a lot more depth, right? Yeah, I mean, I think the switches with the PEI play is probably not the way to go, but I do think as soon as you added foam, it the sound signature had a lot more dimension. Like spacebars more distinct, alphas as well. Mods and alpha kind of similar-ish, but like I could type on a key and I would be able to clearly distinguish like what is what, right? So I think adding the foam for this did help that. Oop, oop. So now we're going to try different mounting. Oh, hi Jan. Hello. Hello. I know everyone's reading. Hi, how was your stream? I saw your sharing on Blue Sky. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me know once you're out. Oh no. I think there's a new command for Siri that it can auto disable the ads, especially if you get like rated. I'll have to go check that out. Hello, Raiders. Well, let me know when you guys are back. Oh my gosh. When my wife gives me some attitude, I will say, calm your luteal. No, don't say calm your luteal. Just ask her, are you, are you in your luteal? If so, I will go buy the appropriate foods as peace offerings, okay? No, no, no. Don't weaponize it against her. Use it to your advantage. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Zoabi. I was explaining the female menstrual cycle because some people in chat didn't realize there were cycles, but now they know. And you know what? That's how we make better partners. By learning about one another, right? Yaoi dungeon. The fuck? Where did that come from? Have you? My TikTok feed. Oh, I see. What kind of TikTok feeds are you looking at? Political yaoi. Huh. Political yaoi. Did you know what yaoi was prior? Or are you just finding out what yaoi is now? Out of curiosity. I did not. Oh, okay. Well. Hello, thanks for the raid! How is your street? Okay, welcome raiders. My name's Patty. We're building our van keyboard today, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, but also play a lot of games. How are you doing? I forget what we were talking about before you came in. Well, we were talking about something. Hello, everyone. Oh, nice. You're freelancing still? Oh, we were talking about the different menstrual cycles for females because some people in chat didn't know that was a thing. So that's what we were talking about. So if you're gonna do the split O-ring, the tabs, they look like this, right? These, you want to have this part facing inside the case. So like the top ones are gonna go like this, and then the bottom ones are gonna go like this. Basically, you wanna have an opening in which like the silicone rings can attach onto this, so you just want to make sure that the opening is facing inside of the case. Yeah, we're talking about the different menstrual cycle phases. Yes, and one of our mods just had baby number 2 welcomed a baby like just a few days ago. If you do this, maybe this is gonna be a dumb question, but does 3D sculpting translate into like 3D printing stuff too? Or is it a little different? So for the O-ring mount, it's 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, so 8. Or 5. Okay. This one takes a little bit more work because you have to put the little posts in it. Also, I didn't realize that Alex built this today too. Oh no. It kind of reminds me of like that thing that Insty and Oxy were talking about. Like invite only, really hard to get, etc. Depends on the printer as well. Regular printers usually can't get fine details. I see. But something like fine resin printing. Oh, okay. I asked because my mom got a 3D printer recently and I want to learn how to start making things, but I don't know like if it's like related or how to like relate it. But I would just be designing simple stuff like a little like clay cutters for my ceramics. Nothing too crazy. The skills definitely transfer, I see. Yeah, my mom got the Bamboo Lab. You can do that. The cheapest printers would print flawlessly, I see. Yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy. I was just trying to do like clay cutters because I want certain shapes. Illustrator with 3D. Yeah, I know how to use Illustrator, but Connor's laughing on the toilet. He is talking to Cosmo. Where did the screw go? Did you guys see where the screw fell? Oh no. Oh, right there. Yeah, unfortunately this part just takes like a long time to do. I wonder if it's something you can just leave in the case once you have it installed. This is the one of two mountings. Okay, last one, and then we can finally mount it on. I don't remember which variation, but there was a Zoom board that had like 7 different mountings. And that was crazy. I'm glad they've kind of steered away from that. I mean, for the people who really liked to like experiment, it probably was really nice for them. It was the V3. Yeah, that one was crazy. I thought their idea of like the pogo pin was really interesting. The magnetic levitation, yeah. I do silly 3D print peripheral related stuff like custom design mouse stands and keyboard wrists with 2D. Oh, nice. Yeah, let me show you something I printed out recently. I didn't design it, but I printed it out, but I printed this with a 3D printer. It's it attaches onto a pottery wheel and you can put your tools in it. So basically learning how to 3D print just for like my ceramic stuff. If you need any sort of beginning assistance, oh, cool. Are you on Discord? Also, Twitch chat, if you're like, who the frick is she? I'm talking to YouTube right now. I actually have people on my YouTube, okay? I'm not neglecting YouTube. Okay, so let's put these rings on here. Yes, hi YouTube. Oh, okay, so it's semi. Okay. Yeah, I might read. Oh. Okay, that is gone. Oh god, I don't. Do I have extra? Oh my god, that flew. Oh shit. I don't know where that went. That's gone. Oh shit. Oh god, that flew like. Oh, sorry. I thought you needed help. Sorry. Uh, no, it's gone. It like flew. It flew. God. They didn't give extras either. Do I still have my Zoom 65? That's a good question. Did I give that away? Do you guys remember? Yeah, I didn't put it under spacebar, but I'll try to think. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Oh god, that was really bad. The only reason I'm not going to search for it is because it flew. Yeah, there's no way I'll find it. I'll find it years later, it's okay. Did I plug it in? The cable in? Oh yeah, I did. I just did. Okay, this does not have... It's missing an O-ring, unfortunately. Sorry, chat. Alright, chat. This is the O-ring mount. Unfortunately, we are missing an O-ring, but you know what? PI plate with foam. I'll answer your question after the type test, if that's okay. Okay, so one thing that's interesting is that this this mounting had a lot more typing feedback than the gasket, like to the point where it was noticeable. Sometimes when you go through like the different mountings, like it's not really as apparent, but I would say there's quite a bit of jump from like the silica gel to the split O-ring mount. And so that was interesting to see. If you're like, well, Patty, how did it feel? It felt like a softer top mount, right? And so that option is still kind of there. Some people, you know, despite everything, like top mount is always going to be their favorite, but unfortunately, like in a ball catch keyboard, incorporating a top mount is not really like feasible unless you do like a bottom mount. But I'd say like using the split O-ring mount is going to be pretty close to getting like that top mount without like actually having the top mount. But that being said, if you're someone who doesn't like top mount because it's like a little too like stiff for you, then O-ring mount is the split O-ring is kind of like the in between, right? So that was really interesting to see. Like I could definitely tell like there was a major difference between the two mounting styles, which, if you're someone who likes having those options, like that is there, and there's enough variance between it to, I'd say, justify like having the two, right? So yeah. They told me that the split O-ring was not possible for foamless, but I think for this board, at least with my configuration, I think foam is, I think this is gonna sound counterintuitive. I think foam actually added a lot more life into the board, whereas like some people would say like it doesn't. Oh wait, how does a nub or scroll icon feel? Just like any other knob. So it's not. Oh, oops, oops. It's there's like resistance. The wheel is textured, but it's not quite like, whenever it's knob, like you feel it like click, 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 click. It doesn't really have that. It's more of like a smooth up and down stroke, but there is resistance, so it's not something that you could just go, seamlessly. Like there is some resistance. What do you think about stab clip-ins versus stab screw-ins? I actually don't have a preference. There are some mounting styles that you have to use the clip-ins. Some people say like clip-ins are not as stable or not as like secure, which, right? You have to make sure you put in the back clip, and I could see that argument. The only time I've ever really encountered an issue with that is maybe, pulling off really really stiff keycaps and maybe like potentially ripping out the stab, but I think that's the only thing, right? But in terms of like use quality, I think they're very similar. Screw-in is always going to be more secure, but there's just some mountings like the big O-ring mount that you have to use clip-ins. So don't really have a preference. Pros and cons to both. But yeah, okay, let's talk about the board. Let me pull this up. Check the VOD, determined to fool off in yeah, but that direction is my keyboard tower. I'm not gonna find it. It's okay. We're just gonna accept that it's gone forever. Alright. Yeah, let's talk about it. They only sent me one plate, so that's why we're only doing one configuration, but we did foam and no foam. And that's why there was only 3 today, because one of the mountings supposedly doesn't work for it. So yeah. Oh, wait. I didn't show you guys. But do you remember earlier I was talking about how this part, it had the diffuser? Yeah, this is what... Like, you don't see it because it's at the bottom, but it still looks really cool. Right? And I wish... Part of me wishes it was, like, a little brighter, but... I'd say the way they incorporated this was really cool, but just based on like how it's executed, you don't really see it, right? Because it was what, the taiga that had it on the side and you could kind of see it reflecting. This is definitely like a more subtle way to like incorporate it, and this is there if you like it. Maybe if you had like a glass desk, a transparent desk, you could see it. Does it kind of tilt if you push? No, it doesn't. That's because it has like these, right? These to keep it in place. Thanks for the follow. Hope it's a bit more slanted outside. Yeah, I think, because like if you look at that, right? So this is like the side profile, and you can't really see it. And then like the front, you can't really see it. It's just something that, while it looks really cool on the back, because you're just like, damn, wow, but like how often are you gonna flip your keyboard over like this, right? Yeah, I think if they had made this part maybe stick out a little bit more or protrude out more, so that from the side, if you could see it, like you could see it because it's reflecting off, right? But look, like if I were to tell you the back is sliding up right now, you'd be like, really? But of course, if I put my hand here, you can see it more. But yeah, I do think the way that it is right now, it's not going to be something that you see. Yes, but that's because this is the aluminum case. I was hoping to get the acrylic case to showcase, but they did say that they were running into issues, so they sent me this one. But yeah, I think in the acrylic case, it will definitely be more like noticeable, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's an educated guess, but yeah. And then you can't really see it from like, you see, it's just something you don't quite notice. But yeah, it won't tilt. I know like this kind of seems like it will, but with the way they've put the feet on the back, it won't, or it shouldn't. Right. Okay, but yeah, so let's talk about it. This is a Zoom64. So as we've learned, right, this is kind of a unique layout, right? It's their way of incorporating arrows onto a 60%, you know, because not everyone likes the whole, you know, shifted with the blocker and the extra keys, right? It's just a design choice. But this is 64. They're calling it 64. Yeah, I mean, but that's the biggest thing, is that the layout is different because you have the 2U shift, right? And then that also means that this is shifted over less. Do you notice that, right? Because normally you have a bigger shift, but now that it's a smaller, you've shifted it over to make way for the arrows. And so that's why earlier, I think it was Ricky was asking me if this like shift this way threw me off a little bit. But not really. Not really. I could see why it would for some, but for me, not quite. It's more so my nails have gone like, look how grown out they are, right? So that I need to get them redone, but that's the biggest thing. But yeah, top case, you just have to really make sure that you pay attention to the layout. It's something I didn't catch until afterwards, but yeah, this is now a shorter space bar. This is all shifted over a little bit, but now they've managed to fit in like arrow keys for 60%. Of course, you do have this like extra key right here, but it's different from a 65 because normally this would be shifted over. There would be a blocker, there would be additional keys, but they've all compacted it into like a 60% layout, but added these arrows. Okay, so just to be aware. You could do normal backspace, but I went to split backspace. And then these you can make 1U if you want, right? Which we do see in a lot of like 40% boards. But I would say if you're interested in buying this board, you just need to make sure that your keycap kitting has the compatibility to do it. Darling R2 has it. I mean, this is apparently a more popular layout, especially in China, which is where they're based. So, you know, that makes sense. But I know the layout can kind of be like, for some people, like, what the hell? But at the same time, you have to think that, you know, there are different layout keyboards everywhere. So this is a very popular Chinese layout. And if they are to cater to like everyone, you know, or it makes sense that they would cater to the Chinese, right? So if you're looking for 60% to incorporate arrow keys, this is an option. And this is actually a more common layout before, but I mean, we just don't see it here very often, if ever at all. Yeah, it's Bellatrix, yeah. But yeah, so 60%, but with the arrow keys, you do have this little knob right here. When buying keycaps, make sure they got the proper left shift size, yeah. So this knob, it doesn't have like the clicking, you know, whenever you turn it up a notch, it clicks. It doesn't do that. It's like a smooth turn, but there is still some resistance. This actually also has an indicator right here as well, like this little LED. And then this wheel is textured. And then this part will match the weight on the back. Can you press the knob down? No, no. It's just a sliding, but you can change it to do different things, right? But no, it's not an additional key, unfortunately. Yes, so they're launching this the same time as the Flux, so maybe that's why as well. But yeah, this is the top. Here's the side. Ooh, so I'm actually a big fan of the side. I kind of do like the swoop right here, the little circular part. Right, so you can see the top piece, you can see the bottom piece right here, right? And then the way that they designed it makes it easy for you to like pick it up from like right here, because like your fingers can fit, so you can like lift it up, right? So you just whoop. But yeah, that's the side. Here's the back. So here we can now see the diffuser, right? And so it's like this little ring around the mid weight or the accent weight. This is one solid piece. I thought maybe this would be like a separate badge of some sort, but no, it's just all machined into one, but it is like the different texture. And this is like a very thin cover, but it's what hides the LED for this and also for the battery if you do decide to get the battery component. Or sorry, they're all tri-mode, but it's just where the battery would hide, right? Like, and this covers it. And then these feet, I think earlier someone was asking like if it would rock. This one is actually, the feet are a lot more raised. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this feet is raised. It's not just flat. It's raised to the point where it's level with this back weight, right? And so you have the two really tall feet or bump-ons, and then you have a silicone piece right here too, right? So it shouldn't rock, and then it also stays in place. Yeah, I mean, the bottom looks really nice. I think what I would have liked to have seen is maybe this part around the ring, like machined down a little bit so that this part kind of stuck out a little bit. So whenever you looked at the side, you could still see the diffuser like slightly, right? However, there's going to be an acrylic version. So maybe once we have the acrylic version, it's going to look a lot cooler. But for the aluminum, right, cases, unfortunately, like the bottom piece does block it. I think, yeah, they could have done it in two ways. They could have either lowered this part so that you could see it from the side, or raise this part so that it protrude out a little bit more. However, that's like because I want to see it, because I know it's there but I can't see it, because if you have it like this, like you wouldn't even know it's there, right? Whereas like the Taiga we've seen, they had it on like the side, right? I think it was a Taiga, but they had it on the side where you can see like the diffuser and the RGB. And I think they've always done a really good job of incorporating that, and I love that. I personally love that. It's Via. It's Via. But yeah, that's like my main critique. Just like I wish I could see this part a little bit more. But I mean, some people just don't want to see it at all. So if you're in that camp, then yeah, you can't quite see it. But yeah, the back USB port. So you do see this little badge. You see the knob right there. And then front lip. So there is a nice little like cherry lip thing right here. So it feels like a little bit more comfy, right? And then this board does use ball catch as we've seen, and it also does use ribbon cables. However, this top part for the knob does use pogo pin, so you don't have to worry about taking this part off, right? Oh, imagine if like you could just do whoosh. Yeah, right. But yeah, you don't have to worry about taking the ball catch off and worrying about the ribbon right here because it does use the pogo pin, but it does use the ribbon cable. So you can see the ribbon cable. So here is for the scroll wheel. Yeah, board has two mounting styles. You can either use silicone gel, which is a gasket, or you could use the split O-ring, which is you have to install these little hooks onto the case, and then you install these little O-rings that hook onto the PCB, and then you just kind of put it in place, and it's very similar to like a less stiff top mount for your reference. What? You gonna go back to him? One moment, please. All right. Let's look at the product page so you guys can see what you're getting into. The board actually is live now. I'm building my reviews a little delayed. I was supposed to build it yesterday, but I did not. I had some personal stuff come up, unfortunately. But we can look at the product page. So if you're interested in this board, you'll kind of know what you're buying. And I'll talk about some things to like pay attention to. Moment. Okay. Boop. Boop. This board starts at $115, by the way, and there are 20 different colors, but 3 of them being limited editions. So, okay, cover your eyes. Gonna be a flashbang. Boom. Okay. So here is their group by page. So here you can see all like the different colors. So we'll just click on the one I have. So the one I have is the Coral Bloom. Okay. This one starts at $149. You have 2 types of PCBs, right? You have the Trimo Flex Cut, which is 1.2, by the way, so it's going to be thinner. And then you have the non-flex cut, which is going to be 1.6, so it's going to be thicker, although all the same layouts, right? So fixed 6.25U, bottom row. You can split the left shift, you can split the backspace, and then you can do step or regular caps lock. But bottom is set. 4 plate options, PC, Palm, FR4, Alu. Oh. Oh, did they get rid of PEI? Uh-oh. Well, I guess you guys don't get PEI. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Oh, you guys don't get PEI. Oh, well, they have it on here. Oh, and they have more plates on here too. Oh, okay, it's in extras. Okay. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. But I guess standard you only get the 4, right? Interesting. Okay, but anyways, and then you have 3 different dampening foam kits. There's standard, there's cork, and pour on. I had pour on. For those who are wondering, I had the pour on ones, right? So if you want my configuration, this would be 160, but it's just based on the case material. Okay, so here are the additional parts. Okay, yeah, so from here, you can either buy the carbon fiber brass or PEI, so I have PEI. Those are all the same. I wonder why they didn't just like incorporate it on here. Oh well. So here they talk about all the different sides. Oh, they call it racetrack. I see. Okay, so the 2 mountings, we already talked about these 2. Oh, here are all the different foams. So the pour-on, which is the one I had, cork, and then standard. The PCB, oh yeah, so the 1.2, 1.6. Here's the layouts, we also talked about that. Oh yeah, we talked about that. We saw all that. Oh, so here they're talking about the different finishes that they have. So carving, marblano, I'm guessing this is supposed to be spray anodization, 220 mesh anodizing, and then 20 signature colorways. So check that out. Whoa. Yeah. I have the coral bloom right here. So I guess depending on the colorway you get, it's going to be more expensive. I mean, which makes sense, but yeah. But here, oh my god, there's a lot here. Oh god, I gotta look at that. Yeah, I was supposed to be sent an acrylic one, but it just, they were having issues with the case, so. But yeah, you have the 7 acrylic colors, and then you have the 20, or then you have the 13 normal colors. However, 3 of these are special limited editions. So for example, this one, which is the Midnight Glow, right? This one has the crazy back weight. This one is already sold out. And then the other one is this one and this one. This one also already sold out, unfortunately. Look at that. With the waves. That's crazy. This one is still in stock, in case you guys... Oh. Oh. Never mind. It's gone now, too. Oh, it's gone. Okay, so the 3 one is all gone. However, you do have these. I think 3, 6, 9, 12. They don't have all the colors on here. Right? Which ones are they missing? Oh, Velvet Gold, right here. Coral Bloom, right here. Moonstone White, right here. Liquid Silver, right here. Titanium Gray, right here. Drift Gray, right here. Soccer Pink, right here. Pink Teal. Oh, they just don't have all of the, they don't have the acrylic ones on here. Right? Yeah. Yeah, they're missing some of the acrylic ones. That makes sense because they said they were having issues, so they've taken it off, I guess. Maybe. But anyways, all the normal cases are on here in case you're interested in that. Okay, but my final thoughts. My thoughts. I am very glad that Bellatrix has kind of started, I guess, honing down on what works for them. I think Bellatrix and WS, like in general, has always been the types to experiment, I think, too much at once. So it's kind of interesting to see them hone down more on like their design. So you could look at it and be like, yep, that's a Zoom board, right? So if you're like, what do you mean by that? So for example, looking at a board and being able to tell like which board it is just based on like the design language. Like say you've never like seen it, but one example would be like Matrix, right? You could look at a Matrix board and be like, yeah, that's designed by Matrix. And so it's, I'd say they kind of have like their own design language, but it's just been really interesting to see like how they incorporate the, like for example, the RGB on like the backside. And we've seen split O-ring with them before, but they brought it back, right? And we've seen silica gel with like a lot of other ones, but I think in terms of like split O-ring, like they were the first people that I had seen it with, if not the only one. I can't remember if anyone else or any other boards I've built other than Bellatrix has incorporated that, but I'm glad they've started to stray away from like the many different mounting styles. And the two they picked actually does feel very different to me, especially like whenever I was typing. Split O-ring is going to be a bit more, it's going to have more typing feedback than the silica gel. Starting price, starting at 115. I need to go find that board, but that is a crazy starting point for bare bones at least. But I like that Bellatrix also offers, you can have a really basic one for like a more affordable price, or you can get like the super omega crazy one for obviously more expensive, but it's like a lot more intricately designed. And just like having that range of options, I will say this layout might throw a lot of people off, but you just have to remember that there are multiple keyboard markets that they're catering to, right? And just because like we don't like the layout or we're not used to it, like we just might not be the right demographic. However, some things have to change, especially if you're trying to, do stuff that is not like traditional. So for example, like incorporating the arrow keys on like a 60%. And this is just their way of doing it, right? And so that it is unfortunate that you don't have like different bottom rows, but they couldn't do that just because of the arrow keys, right? And at that point, it's like if they were to do like the different bottom row layouts, I think it would have just have to have been a 65. But they have condensed a lot of it down, so just be aware whenever you're buying it, right? Because for me, like I was caught off guard because it was like, oh shit, this is a 2U, which makes sense, right? Like they had to shift everything over. And if you think this shift is going to bother you, I will say that it didn't really bother me too much. Like I didn't even notice. So some people might, some people may not. It really depends on like how set you are in your like typing muscle memory, right? But I will say that this does not involve anything that's like you gotta change drastically to type on it. But yeah, I actually do like this knob, right? Because normally when you see a knob, it has to be like a key right here that it replaced, but losing a key can feel really bad, right? So I like how they've managed to kind of condense it all like this, right? And it makes sense that they did it right here. It's just what I'm trying to say. Yeah, right. I think the knobs and bezels. I think the other one that comes to mind would be the Voice 65, but that's the 65, and now we have this as like the 60 or 64. But yeah, I did like the way they incorporated this. This one I think is really cool. I wish it was designed a little bit differently so I could see it more from like the side. However, I think with the acrylic cases, it will probably be um, a lot more noticeable. But yeah, I think my only critique is wishing that this was like a little bit more visible. I actually have no qualms with ball catch. I understand why they did it. And Patty, are you gonna take a look at the Smurf 80? Who is that by? I have not gotten reached out by it if they've already done content. Um, but yeah, I think I think this is actually one of the more thoughtfully designed Bellatrix boards. Yeah, I'm just glad to see that they've kind of really honed down and refined like their, I guess, keyboard design. I'm glad they didn't like go all out and like do like 7 mounting and like try all these new things. And this just the board feels a lot more well polished in terms of um the other boards that I have built by them. Some people might complain about the ribbon cables, but the ribbon cable is honestly long enough that you don't have to worry about it. Uh, I'd say maybe another critique that some people might be like, why did they do that? Is maybe incorporating mounting points by the spacebar. But I think part of that is because of where the ball catch mechanic is. I mean, you could say like instead of going ball catch, they could have done like the normal traditional like screw and then change the mounting. Yeah, they could have, but you know, they decided to go with ball catch, which I think is fine. And they had to like adapt with the mounting style in that way. But other than that, um, yeah, I think I think in terms of like the other boards that I have built by Bellatrix, this one is more polished, right? Like keyboards, no, unfortunately they did not reach out to me, so um, maybe they will, but right now it's not in my schedule. But yeah, that is the board. Um, I do like it. I think would I feel comfortable buying this? Um, I think so. I would. However, it's one of those things where like the it really depends on what you're looking for in a board in the sense of like, do you like the aesthetic? I think the aesthetic is actually broad enough so that people aren't like, oh, gross, no. In the sense of, you know, sometimes people look at some boards and be like, I do not like that aesthetic. But I think this aesthetic is definitely a lot more subtle in the sense of like anyone could like have it on their board. So for example, like the DP that I built, you know, that was very like retro, very Game Boy, very like niche looks. Whereas this one is like broad enough so that anyone could like incorporate it into their like setup, right? So that's kind of what I mean by that. And yeah, this part, it's just so cool. So cool. I wish I could appreciate it more. Um, but yeah. Yeah, that's the board. Oh, this does have HE by the way, or it's gonna have HE. They're releasing, I think it's called what? The Flux. So there is that. So I also think it's good that they're tapping more into like the HE market. So WS Flux 60 HE module. Yeah, so this should be compatible with that as well. Yeah, the bottom is really cool. But yeah, I'm just really glad to see Bellatrix really, you know, refine their designs. Oh, Wingna, thanks for the resub. Hello. But yeah, that's the board. Thank you, Bellatrix. Thank you, WS, for sending it out to me. Sorry my review was like a little delayed, but if you guys are interested, this is live now. until this is live now until this is live now until I can't pull up the wrong page. It, oh wow, it's live now until February 18th. Yeah, so yeah, that's the board. Thanks for watching. I want to say bye to YouTube. Bye YouTube. Bye YouTube. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.